one of the most important things I've learned about focus is most of us, at various times, all of us, are subject to our conditioning. And the environment provides a plethora of stimuli that will challenge our conditioning from day to day, from month to month, year to year, so on and so forth. So the end of the day, focus is one of the most important things because it's not about how hard you work. It's about what you're working on and if you're aware of the value that you stand to gain, or is it a waste of time, energy, resources beyond time and energy? Time and energy are most precious resources. So when it comes to focus, it's something that I've had to really hone in terms of a skill. And it is a skill. It is a learned skill. It is not something you're born with, and it's not something that you cap out at and that other people are better at it than others because of genetics. It's a skill. Like most things in life, it can be improved upon. So with focus, it's, again, one of the most important things because it's going to direct our time, our energy, and our effort. And that's going to yield our results because that's also going to predict how we show up and perform or participate in life. And as I always talk about, the level of participation, which is largely based on the level of focus and awareness to that focus, generates the results that we experience in our life and that we call our subjective reality, the life that we live. And so the first question is, how do you define focus in your life? Now, when I was going over this question, it was a tricky question for me because how do I define focus for my life? And I think the best way I can answer this is creating a level of awareness of where I'm directing my attention, therefore what I'm focusing on. Something that is important in this conversation is understanding the impact of stress. And when we have stress that's generated from any negative emotion or uncomfortable emotion, fear, shame, guilt, anxiety, sadness, grief, so on and so forth, and the spectrum of negative emotions that's within all of those, that takes our focus and it narrows it onto self-preservation as a mammal, as a living organism that we are. And so if we're not aware of our surroundings, our environment that includes people, places, things, and experiences, and how that may be interacting with us and causing a stress response, our focus narrows. The other most important thing to consider when it comes to focus is what we focus on expands. And so if we're focusing on all the negative things in our lives, our unconscious mind will be attached to that, and it will seek out evidence to prove to us a belief that we're creating, already have, that life is negative. And it's about the first idea of focus narrowing when we're under stress. And if we're under stress and we don't know it, and that's our baseline, and we're living in a stress autopilot default network mode, then it's easy to see that our focus is going to be on those things, because at the end of the day, focusing on negative things is a hardwired survival technique that keeps us from harming ourselves or threatening our lives and being able to pass down our genes, which at the primal level is the objective of the organism, is to continue to stay alive, to be able to pass down our genes to continue reproducing. So when it comes to focus, the most important thing in terms of how I define my focus is, what am I focusing on? Is it aligned with the life I want to live? Am I focusing on self? Am I under some stress? And also being aware of what I'm focusing on, because what you focus on expands. The tricky thing here is people will say things like, I don't want X in my life. The unconscious mind, the brain, doesn't process negatives. It just creates a mental image or movie of the whatever comes after I don't want. It just sees the end product and it focuses on that. And then our unconscious mind scans our environment to try to affirm the thing that we said we don't want and that we're attached to, because that's what we're focusing on. Or it prevents us from opportunities that presents as a threat, even though it's the very thing we want. And so it's really important to understand our language, how we think. And again, awareness is so important to what we focus on, because what we focus on expands. And when we're stressed, our focus narrows onto self, which may be a reason why we sabotage our relationships or sabotage our opportunities that we're looking for, and we become selfish. Selfish isn't a bad thing. It's just a misunderstood thing, because what selfishness really is, it's a narrowing of focus because there's some threat that is chronic or acute that maybe we're not aware of. So again, awareness is the most important thing. And when it comes to how I define focus in my life, is I'm doing the best I can to master my level of awareness, which is always evolving and it's not a destination. And I'm creating a congruent alignment with my focus and what's important to me in the life I'm working on creating. The second question, how has resilience helped you make an impact? Now, I don't know if this question is going towards focus or general impact in terms of what that means to me and the mission I'm on in my life, but I would say resilience has helped me be able to hone in my focus, be able to direct my focus, be able to audit my focus and redirect it at times when I'm under some stress, whether it's acutely or chronically, it's an injury, it's a sickness, it's a loss of a loved one, it's a business failure, it's whatever it is. Being able to endure, regulate, and adapt to the new environment, the new circumstances, allows me to get back to auditing my awareness and my focus, and auditing if it's aligned or if it's out of alignment. And then I can bring it back without the awareness, without that auditing piece to create the awareness. We don't know if our focus is aligned or not. And so being able to become resilient, which is another skill, it's an adaptation. It takes time of being exposed to certain stressors and being able to regulate, which is just I'm activated, I'm triggered, I'm stressed, whatever you want to call it. And then being able to endure that with the tools to allow you to begin adapting and then overcoming. That's how you build resilience. It's not just a mental thing. It's not just an emotional thing. It's not just a physical or spiritual. It's a holistic approach of being a human being and not just surviving something, but truly learning from the experience and integrating that learning to become stronger. And that definitely takes and requires rest, periods of rest, making sure you're getting good sleep, good nutrition, maybe taking some time off from physical workouts or exercise, and then getting back into it. It's about a balance of exposure over time, and then that's what creates resilience. And that's the biggest thing of all that resilience has helped me in terms of making an impact in my life, whether it be my focus or my professional work. It's without that focus, without being resilient to be able to harness the focus, we're just at the whim of other people and their ability or lack of ability to regulate their focus. And then we're living at effect to the other people in the life or in the world that are creating the lives that they want, or in autopilot, stressed, and then we're at the effect of that. So it's really important to become mindful of where you're becoming resilient and where you have opportunity to grow that resilience, because again, it's a skill. Number 3, what's one simple tip to help someone stay on track? There's a combination of things, and it starts with first auditing your priorities. What is truly important to you? Not your friends, not your family, not your coworkers, not society. What's important to you? And then defining why that's so. Because from there, you can go to the next step, which is auditing your actions. Are your actions aligned with what you say is a priority? Are you truly putting in any amount of focus into nurturing those priorities, supporting those priorities, prioritizing those priorities? So one simple tip is to write out a list of what things, people, experiences that are important to you that you would classify as a priority. Just brain dump and then pick your top 5. And then from there, think about what's one thing for each one of those 5 that you can start doing now or tomorrow that you're not currently doing that will improve each one of those areas. It's about creating strategic ignorance, which is blinders. It's doing the one thing for each one of those that will nurture, support, improve, and grow that area of your life that you say is important to you. Putting up those blinders, being strategically ignorant to anything outside of that one thing until that one thing gets done. That's the most profound and impactful yet simple thing that anyone can do to stay on track and keep their focus aligned, because it comes down to what's important. Because when you're aligned with what's important to you and you're doing the things, you're getting momentum. You're building resilience by doing the things that maybe you don't want to do, or maybe you want to do but you're having a difficult time doing because of the resistance of the unknown, the frustration that comes with learning a new skill, so on and so forth. When you continue pursuing that because of what's important to you, you build that resilience, you create that alignment, and then over time it becomes easier to do that thing. You do it consistently, and then you improve those areas of your life. But most importantly, you improve who you are at your core. And that allows you to continue showing up and doing the thing for the reasons why you want to do the thing. And that creates resilience, that creates higher levels of focus, and that also changes your life in various ways that you can't fathom until you experience it. And anyone can share all the things I can share, the things that have gone on in my life, but until you actually experience what it's like to hold a commitment to yourself and the people that you say are important to you, it's not going to make sense. So at the end of the day, one simple thing that you can do to stay on track, to hone in your focus, is figure out what's important to you, why that's so, what's one thing you can start doing that'll move the needle, and then witness the changes in your life, the changes in yourself, and the impact that you're having in the people around you, whether that's just at home, that's your work, that's your larger community, or globally, whatever it is for you. It all comes down to auditing your focus, creating that awareness, realigning the focus, and being able to stay on track with the blinders of strategic ignorance based on what's important to you. So I hope this video helps. My name is Josh Perry. I'm a high performance coach working with executives, small business owners, leaders, and teams, helping them create more energy, focus, and resilience to have a greater impact in the world. And if you found this video helpful, I'd love for you to comment below. If you think someone could benefit from this video, please share this with them. And if you have any other questions about focus, about any of the things I've mentioned, write those down below as well. And I'll do my best to respond. And I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you next video.